Welcome back. Sonali's here with a roundup of the latest consumer news, including how you could make £175 from a visit to the bank. And speaking of saving, we're saving the best to last because Simon is in the kitchen. I'm here, I'm going to be stuffed after this one.
You are one of these, Steph, a beef tomato stuffed with lots of veggies and loads of cheese.
How do you, is it not going to be really soggy?
You'll wait and see. Wait and find out.
Right. All of that still to come. Now, we're going to talk about back pain because it's estimated that 80% of the adults in the UK experience back pain or neck pain at some point in their lives. And for many people, that can be down to one simple thing, not knowing how to sit properly. So here with some ways to improve our posture and prevent pain is chiropractor Dr. Mo. Lovely to have you here because I know you've worked with lots of athletes over the years, haven't you? And you know exactly how we should be sitting, whether it's on a chair, in the car, in the office, because it is a big problem, isn't it, back pain?
Thank you for having me, Steph. Yes, it is a big problem and it's becoming increasingly common. What's happened over the years is that we've moved from desktops, which were at eye level, to laptops, then eventually to phone and tablets. And we're spending most of the time looking down. And what that does is basically increases the load of your head on your neck. It's a bit like holding a bowling ball here and hold the same bowling balls a little bit further away and it feels a lot heavier. So it has a huge impact on your neck and all the way downwards.
And so what can that mean then in terms of your posture and things? Like what problems can it create?
So what you have is vertebrae that are bones in your spine, little bones, and between them you have soft cushion-like discs. And their job is to absorb shock. And you have nerves coming out right next to them. And you can end up with wear and tear around these bones. And the more you sit, the more compression you cause on the disc, which ends up looking like this and can lead to herniated disc or a pinched or a trapped nerve and lead to conditions like sciatica.
Which can be very painful.
Absolutely. And that's just the physical impact of it. Mental impact of it is that people end up in such severe pain and they can't go to work, they can't wash themselves, dress themselves, and can't do daily tasks, sometimes struggling to sleep, and it affects them mentally a lot.
Yeah.
As well.
So there are some ways to try and prevent this, aren't there? So let's start with when you're at home. Well, how should you be sitting? Like if I was at home watching the telly, you know, I'd just be sat that, like laid back, legs crossed. You know, if I was on my phone, it'd be this kind of thing. You know, like what?
Brilliant.
Is this wrong?
So what you want to do is, first of all, move back as much as possible.
Right.
And if you have a preference of crossing your legs, try and do it both ways. And try and switch
What do you mean?
So...
Oh, right. I was like, legs definitely don't do that.
Yes.
So just keep alternating?
Yes.
Right.
And then you were leaning a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'd suggest to lean on both ways.
Oh, right, OK, so just spreading the load. Yeah.
If you must lean, but ideally try and sit upright. You also want your knees lower than your hips. You don't want a very soft couch. And then when using the phone, try and hold it up here. So it should almost look like you're taking a selfie. Your arms will get tired after a while, but that's probably a cue.
You could prop them up with cushions, I suppose.
You always have a way,
yeah.
Of course.
Why is it that the best things for your posture are not the most comfortable, though?
I don't create the rules, just like just like chocolate.
Yes, yes, that's so true, isn't it?
My weakness,
unfortunately,
yes.
What about any exercise? You know, if you're sitting for a long time, are there any kind of little exercises you can do?
Yeah,
to
simple
help?
thing you can do without having to stand up is to pull your chin in. It's called a chin tuck. That's it. I imagine having a chin and a half, basically. So what you do is pull in.
I've got about 7 chins now. Like, I don't need to imagine it.
And then you hold it for 5 to 10 seconds and you repeat it several times a day. That's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do if you'd like to stand up.
I can feel that, actually. It feels quite nice, yeah.
That's great. And then what you do is turn your palms out, pull your shoulders back and down, and then pull the chin into the throat. And you want to try and hold that for 30 seconds to a minute. If you have a desk job, try and do it every hour.
All right, and what's that doing for you, just stretching you out?
So basically you do spend most of your day looking forward and moving your shoulders forward. This is doing the opposite of that. So pulling back and stretching here and strengthening the muscles in the mid-back and also activating the muscles in your neck.
Yeah.
Another thing you can do to remind yourself is to associate correcting your posture with something you're doing in your daily life every day at work. So, for example, if a phone rings, correct your posture first before you take the call. Or before you click send on an email, fix your posture. Then,
Yeah.
so
Well, that's
whatever you
little
do.
triggers to
Yeah.
set you off. Can we also talk about the car? We're
Absolutely.
going to head outside now because obviously quite a lot of people will spend time in cars, commuting,
Yeah.
and you've got to get that seat position right, haven't
Absolutely,
you? I
yeah.
know Russell drives a lot, don't you, love?
Yeah, I spend most of my time on the road. I'm trying to do everything you've said, but it's quite uncomfortable.
So the way to make it comfortable is to obviously pump the seat up.
So I would naturally drive. My friends make fun of me for it, but I'm quite close to the wheel with the back up. I like to be like right in the
Yeah.
action.
So-
is that good or bad?
Not ideal. What you want is your seat as high as
Yeah.
possible.
Yep.
Tilted forward so your knees are lower than your hips. Not going to happen for you in this car.
Okay.
And then you want to touch your head to the head restraint.
And that's also what I avoid because I don't want to mess with the hair before I go out. So I tend to avoid putting the head.
I can
Should
understand
you
that.
actually rest the head on there?
That's exactly why it's there for, so it protects you from when you're in an
And you know, some of us
incident.
do really long journeys, then get out and are suddenly active. So I could go from being sat here for 4 or 5 hours and then whizzing around on stage. Is that more of a high risk if you're going from stationary to sudden burst of activity? Is that when injuries happen?
Yes, it is, yeah. You want to get down, walk as much as you can, go up and down the stairs first, and then...
So, in conclusion, is it the shape should be straight? Because at the minute you've got
Yes,
the
so-
kind of angle, so it should be just that you're straight.
You want the angle almost downwards.
But then my
Right.
knees would be
But
touching
that's
this.
going to be very difficult.
So then you
in this
need
car.
the seat further back.
Yeah. You need the seat further
Yeah.
back and a cushion under the bottom.
And what's the towel for?
This isn't to mop my brow. This is sometimes I've had a bit of like lower back thing, and when I push that, I've actually put a bottle of water there before. Just
Yes.
so that you can do it when
Yeah.
you put your back into it, and to just push it out like that.
So newer cars come with lumbar support.
Yeah.
What I tend to do when I have a long journey is roll up a towel, put it
Yeah.
in my lower back, and that imitates the natural
So that's a
shape
good
of
thing.
the curve. Yes.
What about the spiky one with this called a Shakti cushion, and that gives you like a.
That's good for a massage. I'm sure it's not very comfortable after a long period of time.
And this, they were all making fun of me at work here when I was wearing it, but I got jealous when we had Anton Dubek on because he had this amazing posture, so I started wearing one of these that I bought online, a posture
Yeah.
corrector. But is that a good thing or does it make me lazy?
So it's good in short bursts of time, and it's not ideal if you're wearing it for long periods, because what you want to do is,
Yeah.
in reality, train your own muscles to be upright.
Yeah.
You don't want to rely on something, otherwise, if you're wearing that for long periods, it'll just make your own muscles lazier.
So it's a short-term false result, really. You've just got to. There's no way around it. Steph.
It's
We just
as
have
good
to
as a
keep
reminder.
practicing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you
Well, I
can
don't
even
feel as
set-
comfortable, but there we are. I better get to my gig.
It's just a change of habit.
Brilliant. And we're going to put some details on our social medias about all of those tips and also including how to sit on your office chair as well. Loads more still to come. We'll see you after the break.